So Season 2 of Marvel Rivals is here, which means we get a whole plethora of new patch notes. So I thought let's go through them and see what is changing and what's happening in the new season and what we can look forward to. So let's start off with the Vanguard changes. First, we have Captain America, who is losing 25 base health, and the shield value of Living Legend is going from 400 to 350. Doctor Strange is losing some damage. His daggers per projectile, his daggers of Danak damage per projectile are going from 18 to 16. And the Maelstrom of Madness conversion ratio of dark magic to damage is going from 1.3 to 1.2. So overall, just damage reduction. I think that's a great change for Strange because he's been dominating the game for a very long time. Hulk, we have a base movement speed increase of 50, and the cooldown time for Indestructible Guard is going from 12 seconds to 10 seconds, which is his shield, I think, and decreased minimum charge time for Incredible Leap from 0.7 seconds to 0.5 seconds. So he's jumping faster and he can survive a bit more, basically. And Hulk did get a little bit in a bit of a bad spot because he was really OP and then he got nerfed and then he was kind of bad. So I think he'll do good with these changes. Now we have Magneto. His ultimate cost is increasing by 300 to 3,400, which is a great change for him because he's one of the strongest tanks along with Doctor Strange, arguably stronger than him now. So a nerf was deserved for him. Penny Parker, she is getting buffs finally. So Cyberweb Cluster can now crit. And reduced movement speed penalty while firing. Her primary fire has gone from 40% to 20%, and she has an extra 100 health, totaling 750. I think these changes are really good for Penny. I think the damage output is going to increase by a lot with critical shots, and she's got a lot more survivability, so we'll see how she does with those changes. I think she'll be in a pretty good spot. Next we have the Thing. His damage reduction effect for himself and his teammates is reducing by 5%. That's fair. Next we have Thor. He's receiving more survivability in combat, so he's gaining 75 extra health and 50 base movement speed, similar to Hulk with the movement speed. Really good changes for Thor. He does die way too fast, but he also has a lot of damage, so we'll see if that makes him a little bit too OP, potentially. Next, we're moving on to Duelists. So we're starting off with Black Widow. Black Widow can now directly shoot after releasing the second kick of Edge Dancer and her ultimate, which is great. That feels like a great quality of life change for her. It felt a little bit clunky before. I don't know why she wasn't able to do that in the first place. Hawkeye. Hawkeye's receiving some good changes, so reducing the slowing effects while charging his bow from 30% to 20%, both instances of damage for hypersonic arrow are going from 50 to 55, so that is maths. That is 110, right? That's pretty good. Decreased energy costs for his ultimate from 3,700 to 3,100, which reducing that by 600 is insane. And increased the bow draw speed increase from 1.35 to 1.5. That's kind of crazy. I think those are really big buffs to him. The ultimate buff is kind of wild. That's probably going to bring Hawkeye back into the meta again, I would say, because 600 decrease and you can fire faster. Like, that's kind of crazy. Next, we're moving on to Hela. So Hela is getting a mixture of the two, buffed and nerfed. So her bird is going from 12 seconds to 15 seconds. The spell field damage of Piercing Knight, which is her projectile thingy where she throws a bunch of, you know, is going from 30 to 35. And decreased cooldown timer from Soul Drainer for 12 seconds to 10 seconds, which is her E stun ability. So she can stun more, she's a little bit more damage, but she can't bird as often, so she might be dying a lot more often. Human Torch. Human Torch is pretty bad right now, so let's see what they've changed. So you can attack faster. Attack interval for Fire Cluster is going from 0.6 seconds to 0.5. The launch timing of the primary projectile has been advanced. Increase the cooldown of Flaming Meteor from 12 seconds to 15 seconds. And you get 75 bonus health, which falls off 3 seconds later at a rate of 30 per second. So Flaming Meteor is his like dive bomb ability, which means he's not going to die as easy. You don't get punished for using it, which is great because it does feel like you get punished for that. Hopefully these changes will put him in a bit of a better spot. I don't think they're going to do too much to him, but you never know. Iron Man, slightly reduce Iron Man's hitbox size. I think that's a great change because it does feel like his hitbox is huge right now. And then you gain 100 bonus health when you're activating Armor Overdrive or Gamma Overdrive that will start to fall off 5 seconds later at a rate of 30 per second, which is great because he does die way too fast. And he hasn't really been in the meta since Doctor Strange, Hulk, and Iron Man trio was like played every game. So this is definitely going to make him find his place a little bit and not just in the team up, which is great. Next we have Iron Fist. I really don't want to read this because I don't care about Iron Fist, but reduce the bonus max health gain from Harmony Recovery from 150 to 100, but slow the fall off rate of that health from 25 per second to 15 per second. So you get less health, but it falls off slower. Lower fixed damage of Yatji Chung Quen, I don't know which one that is, from 10 to 9, but increase the percentage damage of the enemy's max health per strike from 1.7 to 2.1%. So you're getting more percentage damage and less base damage, which means you're doing more against tanks. Decrease the cooldown for I can't pronounce these. I don't play Iron Fist. I'm so sorry. Decrease the cooldown for Kunlun Kick from 12 seconds to 10 seconds. These abilities, I've never seen them before. Iron Fist is dookie. Anyways, Mr. Fantastic. Increase the base health from 350 to 375. So 25 increase, pretty good. Boost the damage of Stretch Punch from 60 to 65 and from 75 to 80 while in inflated states. Flexible elongation new effects. Enemies within range now suffer a 35% slow effect. Reduce flexible elongation cooldown time from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. Cool. Reduce the elasticity gain from elastic strength, which is his passive, from 30 to 20, while the elasticity provided by Stretch Punch is increasing from 5 to 8. After entering the inflated state, the bonus health provided to self has been reduced from 450 to 400. A new feature, when he uses his ultimate, you gain bonus health equal to that gained when entering inflated state. A lot of words there. Well, basically, he's got a lot more survivability on his ultimate. He has less health when he's in his like big fat state. He does a little bit more damage. He has a slowing effect. His cooldowns are reduced. Just overall buffs across the board, pretty much. This is going to put him in a much better position in the game, and we'll have to see how it plays out. Moon Knight's always a hard one. He's always been like super OP or pretty bad. Increased crescent dart projectile speed from 120 to 150. That's pretty big. And he has some new effects. He gains 25 bonus health with each enemy hit up to a max of 100 with his Moonblade, which is his right click. 3 seconds after the bonus health stops increasing, it will start to fall off at a rate of 20 per second. So he's basically getting another 100 health every time he right clicks if he uses it properly, which is great. I think it's going to help his survivability. It will probably help his position in the meta a lot. Speed up Moonlight's hook pull startup time after hit from 0.4 seconds to 0.15 seconds, so he can hook faster. Extend the duration of the ultimate from 3.5 to 4.5. Increase the number of talons generated by 4, and the fall speed has been enhanced. A new damage fall-off mechanic for the spell field has been added, beginning at 1.5 meters from the center and reaching a maximum reduction of 70% at 5 meters. Again, very wordy. So his ultimate has 1 second longer duration, you have more talons, they fall faster, and you take more damage if you're in the center, and as you go out, you take less damage. That's going to be really... it's a good quality of life change for Moon Knight Ultimate, because we don't want it to be too OP, but at the same time you want some counterplay, right? And not just hear the ultimate and you're just dead instantly. So that gives you chance to try and escape, which is great. But he definitely has a lot more survivability with these changes as well, so we'll have to see how he does with that. I think he'll do pretty good with that, honestly. Now, Scarlet Witch, this is a pretty big one. So removing Chaos Control percentage damage while increasing fixed damage from 60 to 80 per second. That's great. An extra 20 per second damage on her primary sucky attack. Increase... Here's another word I can't say. Chitonian Burst, projectile damage from 35 to 40, and the spell field damage from 35 to 40. So this is actually huge because this is per projectile damage, which means it's an additional 20 damage if you're firing 4 at the same time, which is pretty huge. Increase the cooldown of Mystic Projection from 8 seconds to 10 seconds, which is her immune ability. And reduce the phase state time from 2 seconds to 1.5. So she's in the ability for less time, and the cooldown is longer. Those are pretty big nerfs to that ability. Rework the slow effect of Reality Erasure to start at 1.5 seconds instead of starting immediately, with a linear increase to a 35% slow over 3.5 seconds. So overall, she can move at the start of her ultimate, and then she gets slowed down as it goes on, which is a pretty good change, I think. It allows you to reposition quickly. Maybe you're going to get more ultimates off, we'll have to see, but these are pretty good changes to her damage. Bear in mind she is losing the season bonus because of the team up situation, and she's getting that cool team up with Doctor Strange. If you're aware of it, I might make another video about team ups. But with that new ability and these changes, I think she'll be pretty good in the meta. I don't think she will be meta, but she'll be a pretty strong pick. Star-Lord, what do we have? Reduce Blaster Barrage damage from 80 per second to 75. Introduce a new damage fall-off mechanic starting at 4 meters and maxing out at 80% reduction at 8 meters. So he can't just be doing the same damage if you're miles away, pretty much, which is great. This is his spinny ability where he fires a bunch. Winter Soldier, increase the cooldown for Bionic Hook from 8 seconds to 12 seconds, so a 4-second increase is pretty huge. Reduce the base damage of his ultimate from 100 to 80, but lower the culling threshold from 20% to 15%. Interesting. I think those are pretty deserved changes for Bucky, and with what is also happening to him, he's being taken off the infinite ammo with Rocket, and he's getting a team up with Captain America. So I think these changes will hit him a little bit hard. I don't think he's going to be like the #1 OP character, which he is right now, so he's probably gonna fall down a little bit for sure. But these are deserved because he's been dominating for a while. Wolverine, with tuning, wrong bit, increased rage gain from Savage Claws hits from 7 to 10, while rage gain from Berserk Claw Strike has been decreased from 7 to 5, reduced rage gain from Feral Leap from 20 to 10, and from Vicious Rampage from 20 to 15. However, rage gain from taking damage has been increased from 3 to 5. Reduce the time an enemy is knocked down after impacts from Last Stand from 1 second to 0.75 seconds. As a strategist main, that bit sounds great to me. Hopefully that means I can get out of it faster. But basically he's going to gain rage a lot lot slower. And he might not be as good. We'll see. I don't play Wolverine, so I'm not sure how effective these changes are going to be, but yeah, he's going to get into his rage state a lot slower. Now, strategists, this is what I do know about. Let's start off with Adam Warlock. Increase the cooldown for Soul Bond from 30 seconds to 40, and his ultimate now restores 30% of an ally's maximum health instead of a fixed 100. Wait 1 second. Yeah, cool. So for his ultimate, this is actually a nerf for squishy targets, because if you are rezzing a 250 health or a 270 health target, they're now going to spawn with less health. But if you're rezzing a tank, they're going to spawn with more health. So it's a decent change. You're still going to have to heal, but at least your tanks have a bit more health. The 10-second soul bond increase, I don't agree with. I know that Adam Warlock's become a bit of a problem recently. People have been complaining about him a lot because he started being played in pro play, so he's started becoming a bit meta. I, however, don't think the soul bond is that much of an issue. I think it's the only thing he can do properly, and you play around it. I think a 10-second increase is a little bit too much, but we'll see how that plays out. Cloak and Dagger. So now Cloak and Dagger's duration of the first 3 healing zones will no longer be calculated separately. They will remain active until the duration of the final healing zone ends, at which point all will be removed together. Great change for Cloak and Dagger. It felt a little bit janky before when the first dash disappears before you're even finished dashing completely. So that's a great change for them. Invisible Woman, the shield is losing 50 health. It probably won't affect her that much. Loki, his regeneration domain is going from 25 seconds to 30 seconds. So similar to the Adam Warlock nerf, they want to get rid of healing that makes the game a little bit unfun, I guess. So I agree with this because I do think his regen domain is pretty OP. So that's okay, and it's not a 10-second nerf like the Soul Bonders. Mantis, she's losing 25 base health, which I disagree with. Effects of Healing Flower and Allied Inspiration can be stacked up to a maximum of 16 seconds, so you can now basically put 2 heals on someone or 2 damage boosts on someone, and it will take effect after the first buff has ran out, which is good because it means you haven't got to constantly be looking at your tank, for example. You can put 2 flowers on them and then you can move on to someone else and focus on another aspect of the game, which is great. It makes her a bit more playable. I don't think she needs her health reduced though, considering Luna Snow, Invisible Woman both had 275. I don't see why she needs that, because she struggles with healing anyway. The only thing that you pick Mantis for is self-heal and sustainability, staying alive. So yeah, I disagree with that, but we'll see how it plays out. Rocket, this is the interesting one. So decreasing the heal from repair mode spheres from 70 to 50 per second. Great. Add a new effect of one-time healing of 55 to allies hit, and the projectile speed reduction increased from 4.5 to 7. Oh, so basically, if you hit an ally, you'll be giving them 55 health, but the tick heal is going to be a lot slower. So this is adding a lot more skill into Rocket Raccoon, finally. You've actually got to try and hit your allies rather than just shooting in random places. So I think that's going to deter a lot of people from playing him, to be honest. Because if you're just shooting around everywhere, you're not going to be doing enough healing to keep people alive anymore, which is great. Extend the cooldown for his dash from 6 seconds to 10 seconds and reduce the dash distance, which I think was needed because he is way too slippery, especially with his wall climb ability. So I agree with that. Now here's the interesting part. Rocket's ultimate. The damage boost is going from 40% to 25%, but there is a new effect where linked allies in the ultimate will gain an additional 100 bonus health points per second, capping at 150. After breaking the link, the bonus starts to fall off after 1 second at a rate of 75 per second, and the energy cost for his ultimate is increasing to 4,000, which is an increase of 300. 4,000 is the same cost as Cloak and Dagger and Loki, if I believe that is correct. That's an interesting change, because the heal isn't going to be used as a defensive ultimate, I don't think, because it doesn't heal enough to out-heal most like DPS ultimates, especially combos. So I don't think you should be saving this for a defensive ultimate, but it is a nice little effect when you're trying to force your allies to push and get kills and they get extra health to push in. 25% damage boost is still going to be good, and it's still going to make a lot of ultimates one shot and just do a lot more damage. 40% was a bit overkill if you think about it, but I don't think the damage boost will be that noticeable. I don't think the nerf will be that noticeable. I think it'll be fine. I think the rocket ult is going to feel relatively the same with the damage, but the health is an interesting thing, and we'll see how that plays out. Now, team-up abilities, we don't have information as to how much damage they do, but we'll go through them quick if you haven't already seen them. So Scarlet Witch gets a Mystic Burst ability through her team up with Doctor Strange. She basically activates something and it just like throws projectiles at someone for a certain duration. It seems like it does a lot of damage. Doctor Strange gets a maximum health increase of 100, which is cool. He needs that, I think, because he is a bit low on the old HP. Then we have Captain America and Winter Soldier. So Captain America gets 100 maximum health increase and 5% boost in damage output, and then Winter Soldier gets the ability to jump to allies. And I think it does damage as well. It's like a counter attack, which is cool. But he is being taken off infinite ammo. Oh, and oh wait, we're getting to that bit, it's fine. Now we have Emma Frost, Psylocke, and Magneto. As a team up anchor, Emma Frost gains a maximum health of 100, Magneto receives the ability, and so does Psylocke. So that is like 2 decoys essentially for each character, and I think the decoys do damage as well from what we saw. Not entirely sure, but it seems like a cool ability, and it'll be cool to see in game. So Winter Soldier's been taken out of the Infinite Ammo team up. Namor is being taken out of Chilling Charisma with Lunar Snow, so no more slowing squids. Psylocke is losing the Rewind. And then Namor is now going into the Gamma Charge team up with Doctor Strange and Hulk, which is really interesting. I want to see... Oh wait, is it not? Oh no, Doctor Strange is being removed. Don't mind me. He's going into the Gamma team up with Hulk and Namor, and I think Iron Man's still there, right? I think, yeah. So we'll see how this Gamma Monstro ability performs, but I'm guessing it's just going to do more damage. We'll see, though. So we're losing Scarlet Witch, Magneto, and we're also losing Thor, Captain America, and Storm, which sucks. But I think the team-ups that we're getting are good, and it's going to be interesting to see how all these changes play out. I think overall the devs have hit many areas that needed to be hit, and 90% of the time I think they've done a great job here. So we'll see what the changes bring, and let me know what you guys think to the changes in the comments.